It's a very good evening for everybody watching Global TV Uganda. My name is Senavlia Adrian Charles, and this is the Global TV. It's always a lot that we have to bring to you, and we are always here to bring you the social, economic, and political news in the country and elsewhere in the world. We are always concerned about matters that you may not find elsewhere, and we are always here with analysis that we may still not find elsewhere. One of the most important things that have happened this week, things that require our attention, is the issue of the Lubiri High students, allegedly Lubiri High students, that we are seen involved in
sexual intercourse.
As these students made news for having had sexual intercourse. In the time when you analyze the video, it is daytime, probably even morning time, because these are rush hours. These are rush hours. The bus was in jam, it was still, it was not moving. A lot has to be answered by the authorities, one, by the students, by the parents.
Authorities in terms of Uganda's authorities, or in terms
through
of
the Uganda police
administration of the school? I mean, to me, I think this is not a question of authorities' involvement. It is a question of the administrative weakness of the alleged school. Let's imagine that this school indeed had their learners involved in sexual intercourse. If they were heading in for a trip, where were the people that were meant to monitor them in terms of their teachers? Where were the teachers, those that were meant to be on board in this rather coaster that we saw?
Yes.
So it means that for there were loopholes to do with the monitoring of the entire exercise, the supervision of the learners. I imagine if teachers were in this vehicle or any other
The driver alleges there were two teachers.
If teachers were in this vehicle, probably we could think maybe they were also involved. Otherwise, if you are teachers, how do you see this thing happen? Something that actually didn't just happen for a minute. It was an action of some good minutes. Because
I have so far seen two videos of different places but the same act. So it took some good time. Now, these people we saw, with me I got two opinions. That one, they must have been so free, and I don't know whether really the teachers were there.
For me, I would want first to blame the school administration, the teachers, before I can turn to the learners. To be honest, if you organize an outing of such sort, even within the school boundaries, I believe it is a mandate of the administration, the staff, to have these learners being maintained within the perimeters of ensuring school rules and regulations are being respected. So these school rules and regulations are meant to go out there if you make an outing. So if you are these teachers that are so, relaxed, that seem to be I don't care kind of character, so this blame goes back to you as teachers and as administration of this school.
Well, the teachers and by the way, before I blame the teachers and the administration, I don't know, it would be exaggeration to blame the teachers and the administration first.
We are to blame
we
the
have
teachers.
to blame the students first.
We are saying that on board were two teachers, and this is clearly said by the driver. If these teachers were on board, what was their role in this coaster? For it means either their role was to see these learners play sex, or they were also involved in the same act. How are we going to exonerate them? There is no way how you are going to exonerate these teachers. If you are this parent and a concerned parent, and seeing that these children of yours are involved in such acts, what do you take this school to be for? How do you take this school? What is this supposed to mean to this school?
True. And now the other thing, very important. If the people that were on the windows managed to do that, okay, they dared
doing that.
What of the people that were in the dark that we never saw?
But then this thing happened in broad daylight.
True.
So these learners were such daring that they could not fear anything. You understand? So following the timing of the act, this tells a lot about what happens in that school, if at all we have to even talk about it. If these learners can manage doing this in a vehicle while it's moving on the road, so to believe that they could be seen by people, then that means it's worse within the school.
But then the other thing now, very important still, this could have been done. It is very possible for this to have been done in a spirit of tarnishing the name of Lubiri High, because sure
we've seen again we've seen the very statement, the school statement from Lubiri of maybe that is fake. For they acknowledged these were their learners, but to the school it is stated that these learners were rather in entertainment. I don't know what kind of entertainment this is.
Hey, first rate.
Yes.
What did Lubiri High say?
In their own statement, it's stated that the learners are theirs and they were on board. That is the Midland Midland High School bus. But then that these learners were not involved in sexual intercourse, rather they were in entertainment. So if that is the entertainment according to Lubiri, then they seem not to understand what sex is.
Well, I believe if they could make such a statement, I would wish to go back and receive the video and probably find out something. But according to what I saw,
let's also imagine that this could have been entertainment. How can a girl or girls dance on top of the boys, and you are a teacher looking at this and knowing that outside there where we are in
some
traffic and other people
are
watching on what could be happening. So to me, I believe that there is something wrong. Now to the very learners, I think this comes along with moral decadency of the highest level. We are talking about learners that at one point in time, I think when we were off camera, you did state that probably that it could have come as a result of COVID-19 lockdown. But to me, yes, this could have contributed. It comes a long way. For learners to dare doing this, it is not a practice that they might have had just during the COVID-19 lockdown and now they are used. It is something that could have happened a long way. It also questions the parental upbringing of Ugandan child in our country. How do we bring up our children? Are we the kind that we nurture our children so exposed to such sexual materials or to sex? Do we do it in their presence? Do we put them in risk places where they can learn a thing or two about it? The absolute answer is yes. We have allowed them to access phones where they can get all the erotic materials and be able to know how sex is. And it is said, what the eye sees, so the heart would admire. In some cases, where those without self-control, they are likely to end up getting involved in sex.
What has not been done? Where have the teachers wrong in all the schools? This time around, not Lubiri High alone. In all the schools,
I want to
we know that tours are very much, and
yes,
this is the second time, by the way, we always have a lot
there
of
is
tours.
laxity in control of the learners when they are on board for their academic trips or any other form of trip. So to speak, I believe that for some teachers or some schools would just want to make money out of the learners, to allow them do whatever they want. I remember just a friend told me in in one of the school when they went for a trip. I believe that was of a trip of a given subject, which I will withhold. He stated that these learners went and bought drinks. They boozed. Can you imagine? So you were a school that has a rule and regulation against it, boozing. And when you get your learners out there for a trip, so they drink, you have even the guts to tell someone that our learners drank. So that tells a lot. To be honest, it tells a lot. So I may not blame that person so much, but it also depends on the nature of the school. What kind of freedom do you give to the learners? Are they, kind of learners that are permissive, that they can do whatever they want? Are you looking at profit realization or profit orientation, other than having to live up to the principles and those under the Ministry of Education on molding, nurturing a learner for the better citizen in future?
True. Now, another question. Where have the parents wronged?
I so much believe that our parents have also gone wrong in a way that sometimes we draw ourselves away from the children, so we do not understand who our children are. For the learners we saw, the learner that you could have seen, and this is your child involved in this, you don't expect this thing to have just come that very day, because it was done with a lot of expertise.
Really?
So at the end of the day, for it means this learner, this child of yours, has done this thing quite often.
True.
Are you in the know of what your child does? So if of anything, a parent must follow up their children. There are those parents that do not even talk to their children with fear that their children would criticize them for not knowing issues pertaining to education because they are not literate. So that is an excuse that is very unbecoming. You fear to criticize or put right your child just because you think they are educated, so they understand
everything better yes.
than you do.
True.
Then the other thing about it is the way how we act in homes as parents. So for example, you find a parent in their skimpy skirts, they are kissing in the presence of their children. So at the end of the day, these children would do exactly what you are portraying before them. The lifestyle they live, in terms of how do you regulate them on what they access on TV. There are a kind that are going to watch erotic materials on TV. This issue of soaps, issues of soaps, and then there is there are those soaps, they are plays, they are series. I mean, they are going to access sex content from all over this, and they would be attracted to do the same. So as parents, they must do something.
Lastly, Midland High School blundered somewhere. Can you tell us where?
Midland High School blundered somewhere. I mean, where could they have gone wrong? I mean, for very many schools.
They gave out a bus.
For very many schools, yes, they do not own vehicles of their own, and for some reason, they hire vehicles of other schools.
True.
So to me, I feel I sympathize with them because they were helping out, though they earned some money. But they were helping out a school that needed a vehicle to take their own learners. The whole blame goes to the mother school where these learners are coming from.
True. When we were talking about the act, you talked about expertise that was used. When you go off camera, I would wish to know more about the expertise. And
please don't even ask for the expertise.
For now, I would wish to end here.
A myth should be a myth, and we should just stop there.
I would wish to end here, and let's meet in the next video. Thank you for subscribing.